ask this, man. What are your thoughts on Tracee's comments about dating younger, and is there a double standard for men and women when it comes to dating younger? What do you think?
Yeah, there's definitely a double standard, and the double standard is in your favor. You know, honestly, it's a very normalized kind of thing to see older men with younger women. I mean, nobody batted an eyelash when they heard that Robert De Niro and Al Pacino at like 89 and like 88 both had, you know, like got women pregnant, and they were like in their early to mid 30s or something like that. I mean, that's a little different than Shannon Sharpe's situation, because that's crazy. Yeah, there's definitely a double standard, and it's in your favor. I mean, like the uproar in what Tracee Ellis Ross said, that she prefers dating younger guys. She didn't even have to specify what their ages were before everybody flipped out. You know, she's 52. She could be talking about 40 years old. And even though that's a 12-year age gap, a 40-year-old man is still a 40-year-old man. So I think that there's like, I think everybody who's kind of like got real. Yeah.
Women date older though already. Y'all know when you were in college, when you got to be a young woman, because why? Because young men are what? Broke. When we are in our 20s, we have we can't afford you. And we just can't afford you. It's a fact.
I think you got to take some blame in that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of young women seek older men. They're asking to date younger. They trying to date younger. And to your example of the 89-year-old, you know what I'm saying, getting the 30-something-year-old pregnant. I mean, you couldn't get the 89-year-old pregnant if you tried.
Well, I mean, there's a reason for that. You know, like our biological. I mean, you can try it. So it wouldn't be
a headline. You know?
I cannot.
Yeah, you did that, boy. You got Jesus.
No 89-year-old should be having a baby, because literally what you got, like how many years left? You're basically going to leave your child.
That's a fact.
That's just, to me, that's just a little irresponsible.
It is.
You know that baby was an accident.
I don't know. Men have this thing about leaving legacies and whatnot. So I mean, like that.
But also, women got to take the blame of that, because women have the final say if you had that baby or not. So if the baby wasn't, she wanted to have that child. She wanted it then. Then she be here.
30-something-year-olds, you think that they're going to say no to having a baby with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro? Like, come on now. If they're
then that's what they wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
They wanted the baby.
She's using the example of how it's normalized for men to do stuff like that. Meanwhile, Drea got her head chopped off. It's a difference.
No, that's her son.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, when men do it like the men she named, it's normalized. We don't cause an uproar. That was the example. We're not debating whether they wanted the baby or not. We don't know that. So I think let's stay focused on that. Okay. It's about whether or not it's an uproar when a man does it versus when a woman does it. And it's never really an uproar when y'all do it until you like Shannon Sharpe and she's literally 19 and you 80, and that looks crazy.
Now, I'm just saying,
that's insane.
The 89-year-old, my granddaddy never wore no condom. They don't even wear condoms. They don't put no plastic on that.
Exactly.
So they no plastic on that.
I know some men that want a baby by Al Pacino, child. Now let's get into this, Melissa. On your latest episodes of Hot and Bothered.
I got 1 million female friends, right? And some of them are getting up there in age. And so when I really speak to them, when you really get to the, like once you get past all the excuses, all the, you know what I mean, the tough guy shit, a lot of these people will tell you, yo, I thought I had time in my 20s and 30s when I was dissing all of these dudes that were good dudes. They just weren't the ideal dude. They weren't the picture perfect dude because I thought I had more time to find him. And then when you get to your 40s and you're like, damn, my nigga. You know, not saying that nothing's wrong with your 40s. I'm just saying a lot of times people feel like some of the choices that they made, they are regretful in those, because I could have fucked with Sean. He was a good dude. He might not have been the best dude, but he was a good dude. He was a good man. I could have made a life with him. And I think that when you get to this age, oftentimes the regret will smack you in the face. I know girls that got artificially inseminated. Right? Because they wanted a child and they just thought they had more and more and more time. And unfortunately, y'all are on a biological clock.
That's true.
And so I think some of that was in some of her interview and her testimony.
That's very true. But Tracee Ellis Ross, having the access and the excess that she has, she could have adopted at any point in her life, but she chose not to. I think for her, specifically for her, and I think everything that you just said is true. I think that there is a bunch of women who felt like they had more time and didn't find the right partner. Sometimes, like, you drown in options. That's a fact, and y'all know that. You guys know that.
True.
Sometimes you can just be drowning in fucking options, and it's like it's analysis paralysis. You know what I mean? Like, where you just can't make a decision because there's so much fucking shit coming at you that you just like, I don't know, I'm just gonna fucking just float through life and figure it out at some point, and then time.
That floating, you get to the other side where the other island at.
It's true. Like, look, I like to say there's like a single second and 1,000 years is the same measurement of time in the grand scheme of fucking things. You know what I'm saying? So.
Wait, what?
It's the measurement of time may seem small or large to us, but in the grand scheme of things, in terms of infinity and the universe, a second and 1,000 years is the exact same measurement of time, is what I'm trying to say.
I understand that.
Okay, so I think that at different times she might have had different thought processes, like, okay, well, my career is booming and blah, 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 and this is what's feeding my soul right now. And she's dating and whatever else, and maybe she has a long-term relationship and then it ends up badly, and she's like, I need time
so
with myself.
That would be really cool, what you just said, if she was Thor. What the fuck are we talking about? Am I missing something?
We were
human.
Ish was talking about how women will how people, but he's speaking about women, how they will feel like they have a lot of time. That's what he's saying.
Talking about infinity.
But listen, how you asking Melissa Ford an opinion? Melissa Ford opinion and Tracee Ellis Ross opinion aligns. It aligns. Melissa Ford didn't get married. She doesn't have any children, so she understands what Tracee. She aligns with. I think
listen, I'm with that.
So we can't try to change her perspective.
Joe Budden and Melissa Ford have a dynamic, sometimes volatile rapport on the Joe Budden podcast that stems from both mutual respect and fundamental differences in how they view relationships, gender roles, and dating culture. While both are media savvy and experienced in the entertainment world, their perspectives often clash, especially when the conversation turns toward modern dating dynamics, gender expectations, or how men and women communicate in relationships. Joe, known for his brash, sometimes old-school opinions, often plays devil's advocate or leans into controversial stances, sometimes for effect, sometimes because he genuinely believes them. Melissa, on the other hand, brings a more progressive, grounded take, often drawing from personal experience, intellect, and a desire to challenge stereotypes, especially those about women. What complicates things is their layered history. They're not just co-hosts, they've known each other personally for years. There's an undercurrent of tension, as if old disagreements or unresolved moments linger beneath the surface. So, when Joe makes a sweeping generalization about women or downplays emotional nuance in relationships, Melissa doesn't hold back. And when she challenges him, Joe tends to double down, leading to heated debates. These spats can get intense, but they're also what make the podcast engaging. Their arguments are less about disliking each other and more about the collision of two strong personalities trying to make sense of a complicated dating landscape, live, in real time, with thousands of listeners watching it unfold.